spot on. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, thank you.
Go.
So, I'm here to talk to you this evening about my nemesis. Now, for some people, their lifelong nemesis might be their weight, they just can't shift it. For Harry Potter, his nemesis was Lord Voldemort, and for half the galaxy and Luke Skywalker, the nemesis was Darth Vader. My nemesis is Comic Sans. I hate it with a passion. It was created in 1994 by Microsoft, which is bad enough, but it was included in every single one of their computers from 1995 onwards, so they've plagued us ever since. Some of the world's best known brands can be ruined with the application of Comic Sans. Would you ever buy an Apple product ever again if it said Apple in Comic Sans on the back? Or would you buy a Coke if it said it in Comic Sans? The internet is absolutely rife with horrendous misappropriate uses of Comic Sans. So you wouldn't go in this substation simply because it's in a friendly font. So I took it upon myself to try and find examples in real life. So Big Brother might be watching you, but because it's got some clip art and it's in Comic Sans, it's okay. It's cheerful, it's fine. You know, the authorities might have you on camera doing whatever you're doing, but in a friendly way. So all of these examples I took upon it myself and found them. So museums seem to be absolutely brilliant at using Comic Sans thoroughly and appropriately. So things like instructive, constructive things to say. Do not use their gift shop for eating. But it's friendly when it's in Comic Sans. Equally, the use of Comic Sans makes you more generous. So this is a donation box in Asda. When you choose which charity to give to, if it's in Comic Sans, I'm more likely to be generous and beneficial to others, evidently. Equally, Comic Sans is overused for education and for children because it's not at all patronising. So this poor little hedgehog has to live its life in a box that goes from school to school from a museum with Comic Sans above him, and I feel like he does sometimes. Ritz crackers, their font of choice on the back of their packet is? Oh yes! I wrote into their customer services and they thanked me for my inquiry about Dairy Lee. And I could have emailed them back and said, I'm really not bothered about Dairy Lee, you've got bigger troubles on your hands. This is a Carphone Warehouse store in York. If you would like to email Jonathan, who is their manager, and let him know what you think of his poster and why you wouldn't buy your phone from them because they've put their customer service thing in Comic Sans, please do, because I did. Equally, earlier this year, when they announced the Higgs boson at CERN, guess what font those amazing scientists used? Comic Sans. It gets absolutely everywhere. It should be banned. This was tweeted from one of my friends. This is where the horrible atheists, you shouldn't go anywhere near them. But I do think that the atheists would have made a better choice of font if they were doing an equal pamphlet and handing it out. So I would like to brand all the people that have gone before a Comic Sans criminal, and I wish it can help me do that. But I can tell you that hope is on the horizon and that we're here to rehabilitate those Comic Sans criminals and bring them round. So you can find some examples on the internet. This is an absolutely amazing one. So again, using Comic Sans in a constructive way. But if you're a Fortune 500 company, it's maybe not the choice of font for you. Equally, every time that you use Comic Sans, a designer loses their wings. Okay? I'd really like you to think of that when you're contemplating which font to use for whatever letter you're writing next or anything at work. Please never, ever use it. It's absolutely horrendous. But there is a saviour, and that saviour is Helvetica. Helvetica was created in Switzerland in 1957, and like Switzerland, is neutral and beautiful. And you can use it for everything, because there are so many different types of sets. So there's the light to the heavy and lots of different things. Helvetica is so frigging cool. It has its own film. Dumb and Dumber would be the Comic Sans film, but Helvetica has its own film. Helvetica is so cool. It was on the Olympic jerseys of the Swiss team. It says Swiss Olympic team in Helvetica. Perfect. I think this is the most beautiful thing that anyone could say to you, and this is what all Valentine's cards should say on them, because it's just the sweetest statement that anybody can possibly say. So I'd just like to say, if you are going to receive a letter to say that you're terminally ill, don't send it in papyrus. Or if you're going to have the cat put down, don't do it in Curls MT. Please don't use these fonts, they're not safe. So I'd just like you all to leave with the fact that there are thousands of fonts out there. Please don't use the bad ones, okay?
Brilliant. Let's have a big round of applause for our speakers in the first half. We had Wendy Denman, Craig Burgess, Eleanor O'Kell, Neil McLean, Colin Benders and Beckie